Especially best of one. There we go. Everlasting Love. Don't forget, ladies and gents, we are going this blind, technically
Yep.
speaking. Yes, we do have a little bit of sneak peek of his game, one of this game earlier just now. But then again, we're not going to spoil because one game really cannot, you really can't tell
Yeah.
a lot of things out of one game.
And now this is going to be King's Vanguard still on the first pick.
Yep.
So we've seen, of course, the Clay has been first pick on the previous game. Most likely, they are going to go on the same route here. But Everlasting Love, all still, we're still is a mystery when it comes to their picks here. But as expected, of course, meta bands, meta heroes will be the priority here for the side of Everlasting Love. So it's going to be the same. You know, Kalea, remember, Kalea, Kimi is still pretty much open here. Louis, we've seen the Louis being banned the previous here as well. So I'm looking forward if Everlasting Love loves to go team fight or they love to go for a pick-off.
Yep. King's Vanguard, as of now, you know, they always have that 4 protect 1 comp. But earlier
Yes.
just now, if you noticed, how King's Vanguard is actually taking, especially from the side of Joe H, instructing Nandes on this Hayabusa to basically start split pushing. You always
Yes.
see Nandes coming in split push, and then after that, you know, to work against Icon's split pushing, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of good adaptation coming up from King's Vanguard, but we shall see. The bands from the side of Drew H will be taking away the Fanny, the Fanny, the Chip, and the Harif. And what is that name from Everlasting Love's coach?
Hey?
Can you read it?
OMG! Now that you have...
User 27918273645. Is that his credit card number?
I... Can you say it in a...
No,
In
I
a
don't.
rap-
I don't think. I'm gonna call his coach number. Coach number for now. Coach number. All right. Coach
Okay.
number going for
Coach number. Okay.
for the
Coach
Matilda
number.
band, Lucas band, and the Kimi band. They are absolutely afraid of these big, scary heroes. And now King's Vanguard are going to go for the Kalia first pick once again.
Okay, Zushin has been stolen here for the side of Everlasting Love. And we have mentioned it on the previous series, right? Once Kalea has been picked, usually Purify out of Spell has been prioritized here. So we're looking forward for Everlasting Love here. Because once that Flicker, Tsunami Slam, Isolation play has been committed already, and that's going to be a one-man down for you. So Everlasting Love should priority, of course, on how to counter this Kalea here. And that's going to be a Phobia's being picked here. There you go, the Violet team again.
Hey, you know, imagine. Okay, maybe that's not his credit card number. That's probably his MLBB IGN account number, right? So what you do is go to MLBB,
Try to hack
search his name, and find his history.
Hey!
Don't dox yourself, ladies and gents. Don't dox yourself, and there you go. King's
Walker
Vanguard.
Naka heard you, man.
Walker Naka going for the Farsa. Hayabusa for
Yes.
Nandes once again. This is almost same but different as compared to the earlier game just now against Ignite Gaming. Everlasting Love going for the Suyo, the Phobias, and the Juicin.
Okay, when it comes to crowd control, yes, of course, you have here for KGV when it comes to a single target, but they need a good follow-up, which is Garokacha again. I'm expecting Garokacha will be in the ranks either here on KGV or Everlasting Love. So Kari has been banned though. Okay, Kari has been banned just because, of course, they are afraid for this true damage against their frontliner, which is the Phobius in the side of Everlasting Love. But on the side of Everlasting Love, I think you need to ban out those secondary. Okay, they are prioritizing actually gold laners here.
They're really trimming down the gold laners right here. I'm actually expecting Joe H to start to ban the Gadokacha because the Gadokacha is the massive problem against the likes of Farsas, right? And also the Valentina, that's something that... Oh, sorry, Valentina, you don't really need to care about the Valentina because Everlasting Love has already selected the Juicin for themselves. So cancel that.
So they need a frontliner who can have the crowd control. Of course, Gadokacha is pretty much open here. Maybe Hylos again on the front line here. Okay, Hylos been banned on the other side. KGV though, will they ban the Gadokacha?
I think they really need to ban away the Gadokacha because it's one of its counters against the Farsas, and especially when right now you do have the EVL for the side of Luxian Stain to pick up once again. Gadokacha can easily get close onto the Irithel, and basically your kiting advantage is gone.
Did Luxian Stain also play Beatrix, right? If not, haven't
haven't seen that. I think, but Beatrix right now is in a very weird position.
True.
Because her kid relies on physical damage. There you go. Joe H takes away the Gato Kacha.
But it's a good combo though for the Kalea. The Bennett's Rage with the isolation placed can use that one, but there's so many things. Granger can also be one. We have seen.
Yeah, the Granger.
Yep.
Still available.
Still available here. So this is going to be a battle for the gold lane here. Harriet's now been taken out as well.
I think Granger is really good, still prevalent in this meta, but okay, Everlasting Love, counter picks, Luxion stains, everything. I feel like they've been doing the homework just a little bit. They were watching King's Vanguard's game as well. That shows adaptation. I love it. And now King's Vanguard's forced to pick something else. The Bruno gets picked up instead.
Only concerning here for the side of Everlasting Love that this Irithel is very weak in the early stage of the game, especially heavy dives lineup coming in from KGV. Claire can dive, Hayabusa can dive, even this Hilda can dive. So this is very vulnerable here for this Irithel play.
Yeah, Hilda, technically speaking, is like a good replacement for Hylos. Is tanky, but only if the Hilda is in the bush. Everlasting Love finishes the roster with a Jawhead pick. Jawhead going into Rome. And it's pretty nice. It's the same idea as your Gattacacha or even your Kalia, right? You can dive right onto the Farsa. Your main goal as Everlasting Love right now is to disable the Feather Airstrike.
Yes, that's the priority indeed. The damage coming in from the Farsa. Remember the game of Team Flash that Cortese just owned the early game using the Farsa? It could probably be the same here. And Zushin, remember when it comes to a range battle between Zushin and a Farsa can really outrange Zushin there, especially the burst damage as well.
Yep, so now let's take a look at the game. As we go into the game, well, technically game number 1, of course, this is just a best of 1. But this is the game in between King's Vanguard and Everlasting Love. Deadeye, can you run us through in terms of the laning phase? Which lane are you looking for as a priority?
For the King's Vanguard, I prioritize the gold lane here. I mean, they need to shut down Akashi as early as possible. Plus, they do have the kits. With this diving composition coming in from King's Vanguard, I do believe they have the harassment or the kit to do that as much. Everlasting Love, on the other side, you have a Suyo here. So we know Suyo is very aggressive in the early level 3. They can go for the pick off. They can actually go for it all in, especially with the Jawhead. Suyo is very, very strong in the early game. They do have the damage. So this is a battle between who is going to initiate first or who is going to control the early game.
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing here from Everlasting Love. Look at it. They don't really care about King's Vanguard having the MPL tag. They are walking into the challenger stage firmly believing they have the better gameplay and start invading hard because like what you mentioned, Jawhead and Suyo pops off early.
Yeah, as you can see right now, invading the enemy jungle here. But look at this one. Okay, Nandez. They're trying actually themselves to invade Everlasting Love jungle.
There's an ejector as well onto Nandez. Kushu picking up first blood. Everlasting Love walks into this game with no fear at all.
Just like that, Jace. As expected, the damage is just insane here for Everlasting Love with the Jawhead and Suyo combo. And I'm expecting, of course, that Akashi will be having a hard time. But with this control coming in from Everlasting Love, they're pretty good shape.
Looking for another one right here, but not enough burst damage coming outside from
but
here comes Suyo as well. Kyushu. Man, this guy is starting to become an assassin, Jawhead.
Yeah, indeed. And they're not stopping here, Jace.
And this is the Roma the Chaos.
Exactly. Oh. Exactly. But this is an aggressive Romo, so then okay. I'll give you this ticket to go for the kills here. And Super Ryan has the vision, and I don't think King's Vanguard can afford to go for this turtle, but instead targeting the gold lane.
I love how Everlasting Love is playing this, right? It feels like they do have a bit of macro play. Just look at the positioning of Kyushu, picking up the turtle, securing for themselves, and Nandez, coming up for the assassination. Akashi, oh, that's not a very good place for you to back off. But now is coming revenge. Kyushu right here, unstoppable force onto Nandez. Nandez being chased right here, and now just leaving him to his own wits. Nandez has to try to outplay that one.
Oh, Nandez needs to go back away. Look at the control here. Oh, he's dead.
now way that he can actually
Yeah.
get on Kyushu and Sus Bomba chasing, but maybe that opens a little bit more space for Walker Knuckle, but Fake Cutie is on the
Ouch.
job right there. Walker Knuckle goes in for the feather airstrike a little bit too close. Bao will pull him right all the way back to the edge of the feather airstrike, giving a kill over to Walker Knuckle.
Beautiful combo, and that is what you want for the side of King's Vanguard. But on the exchanges that we have just witnessed, right, it is going to be King's Vanguard priority on the bot side. But hold on, this is going to be a team fight once again.
Kyushu looking for a pickoff right here. Bao, the subject right there once again, allowing Sus Bomba to fling him all the way into the air. Not enough damage coming off of Everlasting Love to end off Bao.
They need to continue this kind of aggression for Everlasting Love. So luckily, of course, they survived that onslaught coming in from the side of King's Vanguard, but they must need to continue. They cannot really give away the space, especially now Akashi is still very vulnerable here on the lane. We have seen King's Vanguard trying to harass this Irithel on the bot side. So far on the top side here, Willie and Super Ryan just doing their thing. It's just easy peasy for them, just trying to farm all out. But when it comes to rotations though, Everlasting Love, they must find a way to pick off once again.
I like how the pick-off coming up from Everlasting Love, right? Even though, yes, Kyushu was able to pick up 2 kills, but those 2 kills are not going into Fake Cutie.
Oh, I think they need that one to funnel the Fate QT here, especially on the Suyo. So Kyushu has the 2 kills here, and they need some more. I think this is going to be a contest once again. Turtle this time around. King's Vanguard is ready.
I like the tag team coming off from Everlasting Love, right? Sus Bomba and Kyushu walking together, and they kind of complement each other, right? Kyushu allows Sus Bomba to tag on the passive of Jusin over and over again, allowing that one person to receive all the damage. Bao on the Kalia, unfortunately, is still a little bit more region-y, but Kyushu, unstoppable force, zoning out Nandes, for the airstrike coming out from Walker Knuckle. At the same time, Bao brings Fake Cutie all the way down to death. Super Ryan credited for the kill right here. Willie goes on the chase right here, goes into Inferno Pursuit, and Super Ryan has to run away. Nandes still surviving, even though after Kyushu activating the ultimate.
Kyushu targeting, of course, Nandes in that situation. I think that is not the priority target. I think the priority target here is going to be Walker Knuckle. So far, the unstoppable force against Nanda's shadows here, he was way out into the team positioning here. But still, the turtle dance continues at this moment.
Yeah, Fake QT not having a very good game right here. Kyushu once again ejecting
There you
Walker
go.
Knuckle all the way back. Has to go to the wing by wing, but Inferno Pursuit from Willie chases him down. Super Ryan goes for the pursuit as well onto Fake QT, trying to zone him away. Sasuke will be able to retreat, and Sus Bomba trying to kite all the way back. Willie coming in for the peel. Fake QT does have Akashi trying to join the fight right here, but gets cut off by Bao, and Bao receiving the damage coming up from the Willie, and also Fake Cutie and Akashi running on the bicycle. Now they're joining in the frame, so the Shadow Kill will be activated, but doesn't really have the Shuriken for him to actually pop off the damage. So Bomba continue on the kill, but Everlasting Love, that is a wonderful sequence of gameplay.
Yeah, indeed. And that was the target already coming in from Kyushu. Just mentioning, right, that is going to be Walker Knuckle. Should be the priority target here. As you can see, ejector onto Walker Knuckle without now the mage with the damage. It's going to be now Everlasting Love having a long brawl here. So far, Kyushu has been taken out, but Walker Knuckle was the target indeed.
Yep.
The damage coming in from Everlasting Love when it comes to prolonged team fight is actually into their favor here. And Luxenstein at this stage doesn't have yet the damage. And I love how they covered Akashi in this sequence right.
You can start to see how Everlasting Love knows how to balance the aggression, and that's amazing coming out from this challenger team.
And now the split push continues here coming in from Nandes on the bot side. Now, this is one of the things that they need to consider here for the side of Everlasting Love.
Tsunami Slam coming in, Willie will be dragged all the way back. That's one pick-off coming out from King's Vanguard.
Well, okay, 4 versus 5 situation. Now this is going to be King's Vanguard pushing on the top here. And look at Nandes taking attention for the side of Everlasting Love. I love how they do the macro plays here. Look at on the top side here, Luxenstein going to push, putting pressure, while the rest of Everlasting Love just finding anyone here for the pickup, but they're on the wrong side of the map here.
A lot of over-aggressive plays, hyper-aggression coming out of Everlasting Love, but however, they're unable to convert into more objectives right there. If you notice, Luxenstein is just split pushing like nobody's business.
Yeah, this is the threat, right? Remember the previous game, right? Liechtenstein having a free farm of his life is going to be a threat in the later stage of game. Okay, the turtle right now on the side of Everlasting Love. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, just definitely. Bao goes on in the air. Freddy airstrike as well. Kyushu tags onto them, but Walker Knuckle, the absolute strike damage is huge onto Kyushu. And now Willie joining on the fight, tags onto Walker Knuckle at the same time. Super Riot on the run. And now the Everlasting Love concealed play as well, trying to go on chase, but a little bit of miscom. They will back off, but they're happy with Bao pick, but they lose Fake Cutie though.
Fake Cutie is out. That is going to be the jungler. Oh, no kills yet for the side of Fake Cutie there, but they are still continuing to push through here in the middle lane.
The damage Kyushu down low just a little bit more. Liechtenstein, the balls will kick right at his face, taking him down in the mid lane.
Oh, that is not what you want there for the side of Everlasting Love. Underestimating the power there coming in from Liechtenstein. First kill for Liechtenstein, and they want to feed him more here in this kind of situation. But remember, the split push coming in from King's Vanguard there on the top side really gave them a lot of breathing space. Now King's Vanguard is still in an advantage here at this moment in time.
Everlasting Love though, like I like what I'm seeing in terms of macro play, but then again, you know, all of a sudden they throw that hyper aggression in, and then after that they start just focusing on micro. If you take a look how King's Vanguard is slowly dissecting Everlasting Love apart, that's another side lane gone for the side of Everlasting Love.
Now the only outer target standing here is in the middle lane. Everlasting Love here. On the early stage of the game, they have been very aggressive. Now this aggression has been stopped already by King's Vanguard. They're now in the tempo. They're dictating the tempo here in this game. And look at the vision coming in from Super Ryan and the rest of Everlasting Love here. They must go for the pickoff. Kyushu was always the initiator here.
Oh, look at Walker Knuckle once again on the far side. The feather airstrike, Everlasting Love, never even dared to step into that one, allowing Liechtenstein to do some chip damage towards the mid lane turret.
They cannot reach her. They cannot reach this Farsa. Oh, this is going to be really difficult here. I think Fate QT must find a way to go for the flanks there in order to catch Walker Knuckle. And as you can see, Kyushu is also one of the players here who can do the unstoppable force, reaching Walker Knuckle into the back lines. But at this moment, the damage is just insane already.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? How, you know, King's Vanguard was able to abuse that fact. But hold on a second, that's going to be a tsunami step from Bao. Catching Willie once again. And Kyushu tried to chase after that. So nice stun coming out. Sus Bomba goes into the ultimate. We'll be able to pull Super Ryan all the way back. Vengeance already activated as Bao just zones out Everlasting Love. He's looking for Fake Cutie right here. Now the jungler gets zoned out. And Super Ryan tries to make something play right there. Sus Bomba tried to drag. That's going to be a killing spree. Goes over the side of Sus Bomba. But Lord will be taken down by Nundes and King's Vanguard as well. Everlasting Love, a good gameplay, but they lose 2 members and the Lord.
Oh man, Super Ryan's sacrifice is okay. It's really worth it there, but Everlasting Love. You see the Phobias, man? Just a single tsunami slam and bursted down less than a second or 2 seconds there, and it only shows there that this pick off comp, this combo coming in from a Kalea is indeed really a threat. But so far here on the other side, Everlasting Love, they could not afford this kind of losses. Without, of course, Wheelie on the front line, the only thing is Kyushu in the next. So Kyushu cannot really handle all the damage, especially right now Liechtenstein is looking good at his itemizations.
Yeah, just Bruno is starting to pick up, you know, necessary items. He's already packing damage. He's already packing a lot of heat on the Berserker's Fury and also the Malefic Gun. Going into next should be the Wind Talker as well. He's doing a lot of damage, and now Everlasting Love, I think they need to prioritize onto Liechtenstein. If not, he's gonna just start kicking balls right at your face, and you don't even have the goalkeeper for that one.
So many things to consider here. Before, it was Walker Knuckles is gonna be the prior target. Now Liechtenstein is the threat here. So on the other side, damage is still there. Don't get me wrong. Akashi here, he needs the itemizations also to deal as much damage, but Nanda's going to go for the split push here, and the Lord is also on the top side.
Further airstrike from the side of Walker Knuckle once again, just spamming the damage right on that. Once again, zoning the members of Everlasting Love. They know not to deal with Walker Knuckle because he does have a lot of damage.
How can you do this one? I think concealed play can also be one, but it's kind of risky at this moment here. Everlasting Love trying to defend their base. Sus Bomba trying to provide vision as well. How can you catch Walker Knuckle here? Flicker is pretty much available for Kyushu, but they need to execute it properly. All the damage.
The feather airstrike once again, allowing Liechtenstein of 1 or 2 kicks. The chip damage coming up from the side of King's Vanguard onto the top lane. Everlasting Love is losing ground.
Slowly but surely here, Inhibitor Tired's gone, and they're not going back here, Jays. They're not planning to retreat. Time and time again, the same strategy they are going to take. Walker Knuckle bombardment. No one's going after him here. Everlasting Love, there you go. Inhibitor Tired gone.
That's the top side from Everlasting Love. Really vulnerable right there. Sus Bomba, yes, he can be the person with the bombs, but Walker Knuckles has the artillery.
Oh, man. We've seen on the previous game, right? The Zushin has been used as a zone, controlling the zone of the backlines, using the flicker. But this time around, it is going to be a purified. This is one of the factors we are going to consider here. So it's not going to be easy for Sus Bomba to follow through as well at this moment. But this strategy coming in from King's Vanguard, it's slow, but it's very effective here. But Everlasting Love, though, they must find a way on how to counter this kind of situation.
Yeah, I think Walker Knuckle, the feather airstrike is just way too prominent, right? Everlasting Love does have the kit inside of Kyushu, in the form of Kyushu, in the form of Fake Cutie, to basically try to find Walker Knuckle. But I don't think they're able to find it because they're starting to feel a little bit fear, a hyper-aggression being halted by King's Vanguard.
I think Kyushu, this is... Oh, look at the damage. That's a Phobius, man.
That's a Phobius. The feather airstrike damage from King's Vanguard is truly showing. Man, King's Vanguard, what a game.
They're just going very defensive here. No risk action. And I thought Kyushu is going to go for a conceal or just going to have a flanking maneuvers at this moment. But with this Lord pushing through, they have no choice. They're back against the wall.
I think right now the problem is Kyushu was a very greedy one. The horses right here. That's going to be the Bao jumping in, picking Fake Cutie. Fake Cutie is not able to play the game at all. And Kyushu going down next. Here comes Willie going into the Phobias. Inferno retreat as well. But look at Walker Knuckle. Easily just flies away. Outputting damage onto Kyushu as well. Sus Bomba goes into the ultimate, trying to look for a play right here. But look at the balls from Liechtenstein. And there's so much damage from the side of King Vanguard. And it's going to be them picking up this game.
Just too much, man. The bombardment coming in from far side. We just mentioned we haven't seen Walker Knuckle on the far side. There you go.
There's so many nukes coming up from King's Vanguard, right? Yeah. It feels like Oppenheimer once again from the side of King's Vanguard. The feather airstrike over and over again. And don't forget, it's also the Bruno on the kick. Correct. Just 1 or 2 kicks. Juicing cannot even deal with the damage.
There's no counter there for Everlasting Love. It's difficult for them to really go for a flanking maneuver. Just trying to have this advice coming in from Everlasting Love, but it's really difficult. If you're on the side, I think you have no choice but just to hunker down on the situation.
But you can start to see, you can start to see the comfort of Nandes already on this Hayabusa, right? His angles are starting to get a little bit more creative. He's not coming in at 360 degrees. He's coming in at 720 degrees, right? He can be anywhere. And because and you can start to see in this game and the previous game as well, he's so confident.
Correct.
If you give him somebody that's so much mobility. As you take a look at the stats, ladies and gents, let me run you through. It's just such a beautiful game from Everlasting Love and King's Vanguard. Everlasting Love, their hyper-aggression early game makes sense. They've got, the Jawhead, they've got Fake Cutie, but however, because Kyushu was holding on and hoarding on all the kills, mind you, Fake Cutie wasn't able to scale, and that's also because Bao was just targeting Fake Cutie over and over and over again.
Yeah, it cannot escape that kind of isolation plays time and time again. They're really also, I'm expecting Willie to have a great defense, but look at this one. We only see here one magical defensive item coming in from Willie. The damage coming from the feather airstrike is just too much. He's way too squishy as well. And Kyushu cannot handle that kind of damage here. They haven't prioritized the magic damage reduction items here for the side of Everlasting Love.
And I feel like that in terms of storyline perspective, Everlasting Love in the early game, they know what to do in the early game. They know what to do in the early to mid game, the first turtle, the second turtle. But when it comes to the later parts of the game, it feels like they forgot how to do and what to do, and King's Vanguard abused that fact. Walker Knuckle starts picking up the items. The glowing one starts to go in. The genius one starts to go in as well. And I don't know how many ones does Harry Potter needs, but man, he's picking up all the ones and he's outputting the damage.
And speaking of damage here, Nandez also did a pretty good job zoning out anyone to follow through here. Akashi haven't recovered also when it comes to his positioning on the team fight as well. He's been the favorite target of Nandez time and time again. And Suz Bomba, without of course the flicker, we have seen the Purify here. And that was actually, don't get me wrong, that the battle spell Purify is really one of the priority when you are up against the pick off composition here coming in from KGV. The only thing is you have no follow through whenever Kyushu or Willy is on the front lines, especially during the mid into the later stage of the game. Early game, yes, they have the damage, but they cannot really sustain or continue this kind of strategy as the game goes on.
Yeah, so it's the adaptability in terms of the fights, right? In terms of the storyline, like early game, what do you do? Mid game, what do you do?
Yes,
Late game,
yes.
what do you do? And that could also go into the coach difference, right? Don't forget, community teams don't really have. Oh, sorry, teams from the community doesn't really have a coach. This is the first time where they're blessed to have a coach at the very least. But and then again, being a coach is not easy. You've
It
seen
is. It is
you've
not
seen
easy.
some teams, right?
It is
The
not
coach diff is obvious. Their
And-
role is not just the draft.
Correct.
It also dictates, okay, I'm going to pick this draft. What do you do in early? What do you do in mid? What do you do in late?
The strategy itself, not only picking the one. And we have seen how the draft really works as well. Remember the draft. Nandez was fighter jungler way back. Now the draft changes here for the side of KGV, going for the assassin types, which is very effective now for KGV. And I would really love to see them continue this kind of draft or this kind of composition here. And Everlasting Love on the other side, they have been great in the early on. As you have mentioned, of course, Jace, they just need to find a way to finish the game.
Yeah. And I really like what I'm seeing right here in terms of the stats, right? You look at Bao, 9k damage, but his presence was felt. 62% team fight participation. Not only just that, he's always picking up the right targets. Fake Cutie couldn't even play ML maybe because of Bao.
The chain stun as well, and the burst coming in from Walker Knuckle. Imagine Phobius has been picked off less than 2 seconds. Same thing as Fate QT is just incredible damage. 41, almost half of all the damage output came from Walker Knuckle.
Yeah, and not just that, right? Lucianstein as well.
Yeah,
The
of
solid
course.
backline that is constantly outputting damage. If he's not being targeted by, the likes of Fake Cutie or Kyushu, right? Lucianstein would just output the damage over and over again. Just take a look at his damage to turrets as well. He's the main person that's kicking down turrets. If you notice, Everlasting Love, the macro in the mid part of games, I feel like they need some work on that because they're losing turrets left and right and they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, speaking of turrets being taken down left and right, the mobility coming in from Everlasting Love, they have been there all throughout, especially during the early stages of the game, right? After the pick-off, they go out top, and then after the pick-off, they go mid. But then again, it's just being stopped there. I think Nandez did a wonderful job in going for the pick-offs, just taking the attention and that aggression coming in from Everlasting Love.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that one. And I feel like it's just... Remember, there's a few sequences from the side of Everlasting Love, and it was like, okay, you got to team fight, you got to kill, target priorities as well, and then after that, just slam people to the ground. I think let's take a look at the MVP. Going to
There you
give
go.
it back to Walker Knuckle once again. His zoning on the feather airstrike though is just wonderful. It opens up so much space for Lucianstein to do Lucianstein things.
Twice in a row. You've mentioned, of course, that the Kyushu has been one of the aggressive roamer right now. Here in the screen, Walker Knuckle I consider as one of the most aggressive mid laners as well here in the game. With his Farsa just bombarding everyone here. No one can ever reach him here in this game. I love his positioning.
Yep.
I love how he controls the game when it comes to team fights as well. And looking forward for this guy to really shine up the next of the matches.
Yeah, and it feels like this is slightly different King's Vanguard as compared to day number 1 of week 2, right? It
Yes.
feels like there's a little bit of an improvement, and that's exactly what we live for, improvement.
Yeah. Okay, King's Vanguard right now. So they have 2 wins in this game. So I think they have recovered with 2 points here in this match. So next in the series for a Challenger qualifiers is going to be Kingdom Esports, right? Kingdom Esports will be up next against the side of Challenger teams there.
Yep,
If I'm
but
not mistaken.
yeah, definitely. But of course, the main thing that I would like to also see that is, I hope the other seeded teams are also watching these
Of course.
these challenger teams coming in, right? Because hey, they're not too shabby either.
True. True. We've seen already Absolute Zero has been a menace here, but this is still the first game for our challenger teams to face against MPL SG teams here. So we've seen first Ignite Gaming there in the first match. Now here the second is the side of Everlasting Love. So few points to consider also for the challenger teams here. That when it comes to facing MPL SG teams, they have to consider the macro plays as well. As you mentioned, strategy is one of the things they have to consider. You have an early game comp, you must control this one, and need to have find a strategy to finish the game itself.
Yep.